Hey everybody, welcome back to another Trifecta Handgun video. Today we're going to talk about monopods. The next two videos I think I'm going to talk about using a monopod with your Trifecta Handgun Rest, and then another video is going to be using a tripod. So there's some distinct advantages to each and we'll discuss those. Now it's no secret that my favorite way to hunt is with a lightweight monopod. And there are several advantages to using it. Obviously, you can see that it is pretty compact. I can take this and throw it in my backpack really easily. It's going to work well in a tree stand. It's going to work well in a ground blind. It's going to work well just taking a chair out somewhere and sitting in it with some natural cover around you. So there are a lot of advantages to using a monopod. And if you're going to go out on like a western hunt or an Alaskan hunt especially, where ounces really start to count, this is a good way to shave a few of those off. So let's start with this little fact. I talk to a lot of people every year and very few of them use a monopod. There's still tripod users, and that's fine. We'll talk about that, and there's some advantages to doing that. But I think the elephant in the room with the monopod is the fact that I can't put it here and it's ever going to be stable. So there's some things that we do to work around that little fact. Now I think the other thing people don't like is the fact that this doesn't stand up by itself, so I don't have my rest here ready to go if something shows up. So those are the things I think are kind of working against a monopod. So let's talk about the first thing, and that is getting stability with your monopod. So you guys can all do this little exercise from home. What I'm going to show you is what it's like if you just stand on one leg and let that represent your monopod without it touching anything else. So if you just pull your knee up. Now I have really bad balance, so I can only hold that for a few seconds. Try it again here. A little better that time, but my foot's really rocking back and forth. I'm really struggling to keep this balance on one leg. And I think that's what everybody thinks that they're going to have to do with a monopod. So we can do that same exercise. See this pull here? If I go ahead and get my leg back up, I just put a pinky against that pole, my foot calms right down. I'm not struggling to keep balance anymore. It's just this one little touch point and I don't have to struggle at all. So we're going to do the exact same thing with your monopod. So first thing we're going to do, of course, is go ahead and attach our, in this case, the ambush. You could use the hybrid hunter too. It'll work the same exact way. It's just not going to be as easy to run around the mountains with the hybrid hunter too. It's obviously a little bit bigger package, a little bit more weight. So here's how I set up. If I'm going to sit in a chair, this is going to represent me being in a blind or just in a chair out in the wild somewhere. So the first thing I want to do is get my height right. So I always want the rest to be about chest level, so we'll just experiment a little bit. So when I'm adjusting my height with a monopod, I usually extend it all the way out, and then I will just take the top ring and bring it down to where I think it should be. And then I have my gun here. There's nobody behind the camera. Then I just get my gun to a level where I'm not really crouching like that to see through it. So that looks pretty good. I can just stand here and aim. Okay, so like I said, this is representing a ground blind or just sitting somewhere out. You take a chair with you. So I'm going to take my top or my second ring here, and I'm going to put it just to the right of my left kneecap. There's a little pocket in there, and I'll get a close-up of that for you. There's a little pocket in there that kind of allows you to tuck that top height adjustment ring, or the second one down, I should say. And I like to get that right in there. It's just a good reference point. And then make sure you have good footing. So something else I want to show you guys is I put a foot on my monopod. This is a Monopod Element monopod, and I bought this foot off of Amazon. It was like a pack of 4 for 10 bucks. And it's an M8 thread if you're going to get one of these for your Monopod Element monopod. I think that foot helps a little bit. It's got a plastic bottom on it, so it's not going to ruin your boots if you decide to stick this on the top of your boot. And I think the ability for this to pivot around a little bit, there's kind of a ball inside there, but I think that gives it just a little bit of stability. Okay, so I put that foot that I just showed you right on the inside of my left foot. And then that second ring down tucks into that little spot to the right of my knee. And I am on gravel, and this stuff is terrible to get traction on. There we go. I have something like that. So now I have 2 points of contact with the monopod on the inside of my foot and my knee. Now I'm just going to see if I can focus on something out there. Turn on my ultra dot. And it doesn't move at all. I wish I could show you this somehow through my ultra dot, where the dot's not moving, because it absolutely does not move. So let me give you another scenario. Maybe you're out west in the Rocky Mountains, or any mountain or any place where there's a hill that you can look down, and that's where your game animal's expected to show up. And you don't have a chair or anything. Now you're just going to sit on the hill itself and shoot down. Now, as you can see, I have my monopod out in front of me. If I had a tripod, I can still do it. This is a very steep hill, so getting a tripod to really dig in and not fall over would be a bit of a challenge, but I can figure it out. The problem is going to be if I need to adjust any sharp angles, and sharp, I mean not very much at all. If I want to shoot over there with a tripod, it's going to be very challenging to get around without picking it up and moving it. If I move it, then I have to readjust the legs. It's not going to be level again. So with my monopod, that's no problem at all. I can just have it in my hand, or maybe I'm just sitting here and all at once I see a game animal shows up to my right over here. Now I'm just going to grab it slowly so I don't get busted, pivot over. Now I can use my right leg and put the monopod just inside and go ahead and make that shot. Now the same thing goes for the left. I'm sitting here minding my own business, thinking that a game animal is going to show up somewhere out here, but it doesn't. It shows up over there and it's going to walk away. So I'm going to pivot over, use the inside of my left leg, and now I can easily make that shot. Now this isn't going to work as well or well at all if you're on level ground, or it's not going to work at all, especially if you're looking up. So one thing you want to do is keep your monopod straight up and down. You see I have it pretty much straight up and down like this, and level. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it straight up and down and just make my moves like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one last scenario, and that is hunting out of a tree. And the ambush monopod combination works excellent for that. So before I showed you guys how to use your kneecap and maybe your foot and create some stability by using those touch points. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to use the tree. So we're going to pretend that this is our tree, this post here, and I'm just going to be minding my own business. I have my monopod extended all the way out because I'm pretty tall. Just looking around, watching squirrels, and all at once, oh, there's a deer coming. So I'm going to grab my firearm out. I'm going to pull my rest up, and you're going to do this as stealthy as the situation needs to be. And now I'm going to lean against that tree. That's my touch point, leaning against the tree. So maybe I can kick back just a little bit, put my feet out in front of me, and make the shot. And it's completely stable that way. Now that's scenario number one. Scenario number two, just standing up in a tree, minding my own business, and I hear something behind me. I assume it's probably another squirrel because it always is. I slowly turn around, and there's a deer right behind me. So the tree's right in the way. The tree's kind of cover for me. I'm going to come around like this, get my rest up. Now I'm putting it up against the tree, pulling my gun out, and I'm completely under cover, and I can go ahead and make the shot. So that's a monopod. I think I've covered everything. It's the way I like to hunt. I've been doing it for a couple years. I've been successful. I don't think I'll personally ever go back to a tripod, but there are some advantages. So in the next video, we will show you tripods.